There are many narrations about Dajjal in Islamic tradition, but in one particular hadith, we are given very important clues about his location. This is the famous narration that many of us have heard again and again. One day, a Christian man came to the gathering of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and accepted Islam. After accepting Islam, he narrated a strange journey. He said, I and a group of people were traveling from Arabia toward the sea. Suddenly, the weather changed and a powerful storm pushed our ship away from its route. For nearly 1 month, our ship kept drifting in the ocean. Eventually, the waves brought us close to a remote island. We left our main ship and reached the island using small boats. On that island, we met a strange creature. Its body was completely covered with thick hair and it looked extremely frightening. We asked it, What are you? It replied, Leave me. Go to that building in front of you. Inside there is a man who is waiting eagerly for you. When we entered the building, we saw a man tied tightly with chains. He began asking us questions. He asked, Tell me about the dead palm trees of Bison. Are they still bearing fruit? We replied, Yes, they still produce fruit. He said, Soon they will stop producing. Then he asked, Tell me about the lake of Tiberias. Is there still water in it? We replied, Yes, there is plenty of water. He said, Soon it will dry up. Then he asked, Tell me about the unlettered prophet. What has he done? We told him that the prophet had left Mecca and settled in Medina. He asked, Has he really settled there? We said, Yes. Then he said, Now I will tell you who I am. I am the Dajjal. Soon I will be released from my chains. I will travel throughout the world except for Medina. When this narration reached the Prophet ﷺ, he addressed the people and said, Listen carefully. He is not in the Syrian Sea and he is not in the Yemeni Sea. Then the Prophet ﷺ pointed with his hand toward the east and said, Dajjal is in the east. Now let us understand this in simple terms. The famous sea located to the east of Medina is the Arabian Sea. In this sea, there are several well-known islands, such as Lakshadweep in India, Socotra Island near Yemen, Masira Island in Oman, Astola Island in Pakistan. The hadith clearly tells us that Dajjal is not located in the Yemeni Sea, so the islands near Yemen are ruled out. When the Prophet ﷺ pointed toward the east from Medina, and if a straight line is drawn in that direction, it passes directly over Astola Island. But there is an important question. The narration describes a temple-like structure on the island. However, the structure present today is only a few decades old. So how could this be connected to a story that is more than 1,000 years old? Another detail mentioned in the narration is the strange creature whose body was covered with thick hair. This description reminds many people of the appearance of the Hindu goddess Kali, who is commonly shown as frightening in appearance and covered with symbolic elements representing destruction. Some people also point out that popular culture has used imagery inspired by Kali. For example, one of the most famous rock bands in the world, the Rolling Stones, openly stated that their famous tongue logo was inspired by the imagery of the goddess Kali. This logo later became one of the most recognizable symbols in the global music industry. It is important to understand one thing clearly. Islam does not ask us to build absolute conclusions from symbols, pop culture, or modern imagery. The purpose of this narration is not to turn speculation into belief. Its real purpose is to warn believers about the greatest trial that will appear near the end of time. The Prophet ﷺ did not tell us to search for Dajjal. He told us to prepare ourselves. Because the real protection from Dajjal is not geography, it is faith, it is knowledge, it is sincerity with Allah, and it is holding firmly to the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ.